G'day everyone, welcome back to NS2HD. Big weekend for Natural Selection 2. The Natural Selection 2 World Championship was announced, and it is very hard to overstate just how awesome this undertaking is. It's been put together by a volunteer team of community members led by Dylan Wasabi1 Savage. It involves Red Dog, it involves It's Super Effective, Rantology, Zephram, a whole bunch of people are putting this together, a whole bunch of people that aren't Unknown Worlds, and that's very cool because as a game developer, Unknown Worlds doesn't have the time to be going around creating giant Natural Selection 2 World Championships. Maybe if we were a giant publisher, but we're not, and it's best we spend a lot of time improving the game, not trying to throw massive parties. But this party is not your average party. This party gives everyone all over the world a chance to compete in Natural Selection 2 at the highest level, because not only will 4 teams be flown to Germany to compete live on stage together, but those 4 teams can come from anywhere on Earth. This is especially special for myself as an Australian, because when you're growing up in Australia playing video games, the big events that happen in some games around the world are totally oceans away, quite literally. There's something that you can only ever aspire to in your dreams. So for someone that's not from the United States or Europe, it's a very special thing. I've had a lot of players come to me on Steam and say, hey Hugh, this is awesome. Does this mean that I can play in this? And I'm from Brazil? Yes, you can. It doesn't matter where you're from. Can I play in this? I'm from Australia. Can I play in this? I'm from New Zealand. All these places, yes. If your team is good enough, you will get flown. But of course, to make this thing happen, the volunteer team of community members that have put it together need $30,000. Why do they need $30,000? Well, you've got 24 players plus casters being flown to Germany. And that's a pretty big undertaking, because not only do they need to be flown from places where it can cost over $1,000 easily to fly them from there, but you've also got to have trains, you've got to have hotels. It all adds up for 24 players plus casters, so probably about 26 people. And it adds up so much that it gets to $30,000. That's the minimum that these guys, that's the maximum these guys are hopefully going to need to make this event happen. And if they end up using less, which they hopefully will, then all of the spare money gets thrown into the prize pool. Meanwhile, Unknown Worlds is covering the cost of the production crew, the studio, the Twitch front page, and any unexpected expenses that the Natural Selection 2 World Championship team runs into. So head on over to naturalselection2.com/championship and contribute, because you can be part of basically the most awesome thing that Natural Selection 2 has ever done. It's a global event. It allows us all to compete, and it's going to be very, very special. It's going to draw us all together all across the globe, but we need those contributions to make it happen. So there's been a bit of news around the championship the last few days, and the best place to go to find out all about it and catch up on everything is the unknownworlds.com/NS2 blog. I'm devoting quite a bit of my time to helping out the NS2WC team right now, doing promotion for them, and some of that involves blogging on the Unknown Worlds blog. And there's quite a bit of news in there, including an explanation of how the thing works, who's funding what, where the money's coming from, what Unknown Worlds is contributing, what the community's contributing, and how that all works. There's also an article called Accidental Beacon, which talks about a whoopsie that was had last night. Unfortunately, the funding had to be reset. It got to 10% in 24 hours. Unfortunately, it had to be reset. It's now back up to 8% in 16 hours, so hopefully that momentum will not be lost, and we will continue charging towards $30,000 in 30 days. And really good news to close it off is that this morning a whole bunch of press outlets started talking about this event. Polygon, OzGamers, PC Gamer, Gamefront, and more are talking about this because to them this is kind of different, and it is kind of different. Until now, these kind of huge events have been the domain of big publishers, big companies, Riot Games backed by Tencent, Dota 2 backed by Valve. That kind of weight is required to put games on the world stage and have people come from all over the planet to play together in front of an audience of thousands. But in this case, it's a tiny indie developer making it happen. Sorry, not even making it happen, but helping their tiny community make it happen. So it's a real feel-good story, and it's really cool to see the press picking up on it and this whole thing getting a bit of momentum. If it happens, I'll be in tears. It'll be the most amazing thing if this thing can get off the ground. It's guaranteed to be watched by over 160,000 people across the world. Those are the numbers that we pulled in last time. one of these events happened, and that event, the NSL Invitational Cup, was much smaller than this, and that was viewed by 160,000 people. With a peak of 10,000 concurrent viewers. And if you think about that many people watching NS2, it's absolutely huge. So there's potential here for us to grow as a community. There's potential here for new people to see NS2, and there's potential here for the Natural Selection 2 community to do something that no other indie game community has ever managed to do. Guys, head over to naturalselection2.com/championship right now and help this NS2WC team put on this outstanding event.